As I already mentioned in a few previous videos, there's finally a way to skip the cable car for people coming to Santorini on a cruise. This is huge because on most days, the waiting line going up from the cruise port to the city is an absolute nightmare. And a few hours later, guess what? It's time to go back down for everyone, and it's the same story all over again. And so a few days ago, I joined that very tour that makes us skip the cable car. The link to book it is down below, and here's what it looks like. So the first step is to exit your cruise ship and to be tendered to the old port. Because yeah, in case you didn't know, cruise ships don't ever dock in Santorini. They anchor out in the bay and everyone gets tendered to shore. Now, a few things regarding the procedure to exit your ship and hop on the tender boat. Most cruise ships arrive in Santorini at 7 a.m. And the first thing you're going to do when you wake up on that day is to run to the reception of your ship to get your little priority number to disembark. It's first arrived, first served. So the earlier you get there, the earlier you will exit the ship. So pro tip number one, go to bed early on the night before Santorini because you're going to set an early alarm the next day. And pro tip number two, there's actually a little loophole in this system, which is if when going to the reception to get your number, you show them that you have booked an early tour, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and you need to get off the ship as early as possible to be there on time, they're probably going to give you a lower number than the one you actually deserve. And so booking a tour like the one I'm going to show you not only allows you to skip the cable car, but potentially also allows you to disembark earlier. Oh, and by the way, if you find my channel useful and you want to support my work with a one-time donation, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/GreeceExplained. Thank you very much. All right, so you climbed on the tender boat. You're making your way to the old port, admiring the breathtaking views of the caldera cliffs all around you. And after 10 minutes, you actually reach the old port where you hop off. The meeting point of the tour was the Santo Star office, but this could change over time, so make sure you follow the instructions you will get when booking the tour. The guide will go through all the names to make sure everyone has arrived, and when that's done, it's time to hop on the boat that will make you save so much time, because in case you don't know, the old port doesn't have any road access. The two only ways to get to the top, or this never-ending staircase of 582 steps, or taking the cable car with its hours-long waiting lines. While this boat you just hopped on is going to take you to Athenios port, Santorini's ferry port, with which is much bigger and with road access. So you hop on the minivan waiting for you there at Athenios, and right away your guide will start giving you a little briefing on all the stops that will be covered throughout the day. As your guide is starting to explain all of this, you will have the first big highlight of the tour, or the panoramic views you'll get while you're ascending the cliffs. And after a few minutes, you will reach the first stop of the tour, which is the super famous viewpoint of the so-called Three Bells of Fira. And you will also get some more information about the islands, like why all houses are white and blue, or why it is believed that Santorini could be the lost Atlantis. The second stop will be this fantastic viewpoint of Ia. I mean, look at this. This is where I used to bring people for my sunset tour back when I was still a guide in Santorini myself. It's a wonderful, wonderful spot. Stop number 3 will be Ia town. This one you will do on your own without a guide. You have exactly 1 hour to walk around all these super iconic alleys of whitewashed houses and blue domed churches. I will link a video at the end of this one where I show exactly where to go to hit all the most iconic spots. And my advice is to not waste any time with shopping or eating there in Ia. Ia is a tiny town, and in 1 hour you can definitely see the whole thing, but if you start entering every shop you encounter, next thing you know, the 1 hour is already gone. The fourth stop is a guided tour of the very underrated town of Megalochori. Now, I'm very happy they included this in the tour because it's one of the very few places in Santorini which is not yet been taken over by mass tourism. So walking around Megalochori gives you a great idea of what Santorini used to look like before Instagram made it so famous. You'll also get to visit a traditional cave house. So it's a series of rooms that were dug into the very soft volcanic soil. Because yeah, it was always much cheaper to dig into existing soil rather than having to build an actual house with 4 walls and a roof. Actually, there's plenty of hotel rooms in Santorini that are very luxurious, but they have no windows anywhere. Why don't they have any windows? Because it is a cave house. And this very room used to look like this before it was made all fancy for you guys. So yeah, a very unique experience to be able to visit an old traditional cave house. And in Megalochori, you'll also have a quick wine culture lesson answering the big question of why Santorini's vineyards look like this and why each grapevine has this weird donut shape. The next stop will be Perivolos and its famous volcanic black sand beach. If you've never seen black sand, I think it's pretty cool. You'll have some time there to go for a little swim if you want, and there's also a few beach restaurants there in case you're hungry. And after that, you're brought back to Athenios port, where you hop on your transfer boat to go back to the old port. You'll have one last look up close of Santorini's beautiful cliffs, and then as you get to the old port, you can go have a bite at one of my favorite restaurants in Santorini called Lombranos, and then you take the tender back to your cruise ship, and that's the end of your Santorini day. So that's the tour. I'm going to leave the link to book it down below. It's only around 150 euros per person, which, considering it makes you skip the cable car twice, and how much you see on that tour, is a surprisingly good deal. There are multiple starting times every day. The earliest is at 9 a.m., which you will only make if you're very early in the disembarkation procedure. If you're not sure when you will wake up, then maybe go for the 10 a.m. package. And if you are willing to pay a bit more to have the whole experience private from start to end, including the boat ride, I'm going to leave another link for that down below too. And of course, the advantage of booking a private tour is that you can customize what you're going to do for 6 hours on the island. And so if you want to spend more time in Ia, for instance, or if you want to go for a wine tasting or do one of these flying dresses photo shoots, well, all of this can be arranged, but only if you booked the private version of the tour. And as always, if you see multiple tours appear after you click on the link, the first one in the list is the one I'm talking about. All right, as promised, a guide on how to find all the famous Instagram spots in Ia, and then what to do in Olympia, in Istanbul, and in Naples, in case your cruise ship is going there as well. And there you go. That's it for today. Hope you liked it. See you in the next one. Bye.